And welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Steve with a preview overview of the game Midhalla. Midhalla is an upcoming game to Kickstarter. It is a 2 to 5 player cooperative dungeon crawl tower defense trap building game with a Viking theme. A very unique game, and I'm here to give you a brief overview of what it's like. Now, keep in mind what I'm showing you today is a prototype of the game, so artwork, components, and rules are all subject to change. But in this game, it's 2 to 5 players will be playing as Vikings. These Vikings are very unique between them, and you'll be able to level them up, given different items throughout the course of the game. The goal of the game is to finish the scenario or the chapter before the dungeon gate here falls to 0 life. Now, another way to lose is if both our heroes fall to 0 life as well. Now, you might notice that there are dice in the game. However, all of the dice in the game are used for health trackers only. In fact, combat in this game is deterministic. So, something very unique about this one. So, the game is divided into 4 different phases. The first phase of the game is exploration. And this one, players will be deciding and referencing a book to help them with this, looking at any spots that can expand the dungeon. So for example, here I've got an open spot here, and I'm making this up for example purposes, but maybe I'll expand here. I'll read some flavor text and some other rules in the book, and I'll keep playing. Maybe I explore down here as well. And as you go through, you can explore as much as you want, up until a point where the book will tell you, by the way, you need to stop and move on to phase 2. Over the course, might run into events and resources and lots of other surprises along the way. Now, when you move on to phase 2 of the game, this is where it's called preparation. And this is where we're going to be using those hard-earned resources to get ready for the next battle. So those resources will be tracked up here. You've got a couple basic resources. We have silver and runestones. And those can be used to acquire different items with cost down there. You can equip those items to your heroes, and they can use them later on in battle. The other thing you can do as well is buy traps. Traps are a big part of the game. They also have different stats. You can actually upgrade them, level them up. But they will be placed onto the board when you acquire them. So maybe we'll put the spike trap right here so that our lovely enemies that will be coming soon will run that spike and take some damage. After buying everything, what we'll be doing is we'll be drawing cards from the enemy deck. And these will be telling us which enemies to be adding to the board. Enemies look something like this, where they have information like what target they're aiming for. So this enemy is looking for players. They're attack with 2 damage at range 2. And they also have, depending on player count, like here's a 2-player one, they will have 5 health. So health is going to scale based upon players. A lot of them have different abilities as well. Each enemy is also unique. So you're only ever going to have 1 kobold archer on the board to deal with. But that's going to be part of the puzzle of the game, trying to see where they spawn and what to do about them. After that, players can choose where they want to start their turn. So they'll place them on the board, and then we'll move on to phase 3. The third phase of the game is combat. So combat's going to start with the enemies going first, followed by traps activating, and then heroes. And that full cycle is going to repeat until players lose, and players lose by either the gate reaching 0 health, or all the players reaching 0 health, or if they win, meaning that there are no more enemies on the board. Enemy activations are very simple. What they will do is they will either attack, or if they can't attack anything based upon their AI, they will move 1 space closer towards the dungeon gate. Eventually, the enemies will be reaching the dungeon gate. When they're there, they will just continuously attack the dungeon gate, dealing damage and knocking out to 0 health. But after the enemies go, the traps are activated. For example, the spike trap would activate and dealing damage to this enemy. After that, the heroes will go. During the hero turn, players can take their turns in any order, but must fully resolve their actions before the next hero goes. On your turn, you will be using the top row and a separate bottom row effect. The top row must be done first, in which you will be moving this marker to a new ability and do whatever it says. After that, you'll do the same for the bottom. This is important because you cannot use the same ability in 2 consecutive turns. In addition to that, you do have 2 ultimate abilities on the top left and top right of this board. You can do those anytime during your turn by exhausting them. However, only one of these abilities will unexhaust at the end of the combat round. In addition to that, you do have the health die, keeping track of your health, and potential equipment which you can exhaust to do their effects during your turn. When the last enemy is defeated, or if the gate falls or both our heroes fall, the combat ends. And then we can move on to the next phase, which is going to be the rewards phase. And this one, we'll be able to reset ultimates, reset any items, we'll get more equipment we can purchase, and we'll get resources as well. And we'll repeat this with exploration, going through that a total of 3 times. And at the end of that, we'll move on to the end of the chapter and see what happens. Following the conclusion of a campaign, you'll be using a party sheet to keep track of your progress. So this has a lot of information on it. You'll be able to keep track of any heroes and you can unlock. Now there are 2 states to each hero, a basic and advanced version of it. Any traps you've unlocked along the way, trap components, the chapters you've completed, any decisions you've made throughout the campaign, in case you need to reference what you decided in the past. Just basic note keeping for that one. The big one here, though, is you do have this track on the top, which will balance the game if you've been winning a lot or losing a lot. It will help make the game harder if you've been winning a lot or easier if you've been losing a lot. And that is a brief overview of Midhalla. If you want to know more information about this game, you could check out the Kickstarter or potential back it. I'll have the link in the description below. Or if you want to see more detail about how this game works, I will also be doing a live play. Also find that link in the description as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next stop. Bye-bye.